Hello, everyone. I'm Sandy Anastasi, psychic channel, intuitive astrologer, and soul coach. And I'm here with my psychic development tip number 40. This tip is about trusting yourself intuitively. This psychic development tip was inspired by my tip number 39, which is about observing and choosing your thoughts carefully. When I channeled that tip from my guides, it prompted me to remember a very grave mistake that I once made that had multiple consequences. You see, because I respected someone, I accepted their statement and belief over what my intuition and my instincts told me was true. Here's what happened. I was studying Tai Chi Chuan with a teacher I deeply respected, both for his ability and his teaching skills. One day, he introduced me to a couple who had made him a business proposition. On the surface, they seemed very nice, friendly and honest. But there was an undercurrent that made me very uncomfortable. I knew I wouldn't trust them myself. I had a strong feeling that they were an unscrupulous pair. My psychic skills were only budding way back then, so I was hesitant to say anything about my strong feelings of distrust until my teacher candidly asked me my opinion. He knew that I was a psychic, so I had no problem responding with the truth regarding my psychic impressions. I told him that they set all of my psychic senses on instant defense, and I wouldn't trust them if I were him. He responded to me with a question. He asked me if I could possibly be projecting my own trust issues onto them. He reasoned that my distrust wasn't something I was picking up energetically from them that was based in reality, but rather that my aversion to them may have come from some unconscious source within me, making me distrust them. Perhaps then they really were trustworthy. Well, I thought about it, and it set up an immediate conflict in me. His comment was reasonable. I both trusted and respected him. It was natural for me to assume his reasoning was accurate, and so my psychic impression must have been wrong. That conflict ate at me. Wow! As soon as I drew that conclusion, as soon as my belief in myself was shaken to the core by this man that I trusted, all of my psychic senses turned off. It was a terrible feeling. That's the first time I really understood how much I relied on them, how every one of my psychic senses had a psychic overlay. My physical senses had a psychic overlay that allowed me to see better, to feel more, hear better, think more clearly, and so on. It was nothing short of catastrophic to me. It was as if my guides were saying, okay, you are rejecting these abilities, doubting their validity, so let's just turn them off. And you can live in a normal world now. I felt the way a seeing person would feel when they went blind, or a hearing person would feel when they lost their hearing. It was that major an issue for me. And I lived in that totally normal world for a long while. It didn't just go away and then come back like that. I lived in that normal world which felt colorless, beautyless to me for a very long time, while I worked very hard using all of the tools that I now teach to my students to reopen their abilities. I used to reopen mine. So the good part of this story is my shutting down and having to reopen my own psychic skills is what gave me the ability to teach you to open yours. The bad part was the agony of loss, the emptiness that followed the loss of those abilities. As for my teacher, he did make the deal with the couple in question, and they did embezzle him out of many thousands of dollars. But by the time the school of life taught him that lesson, mine had already been learned. I learned that although I might sometimes misinterpret a feeling, a thought, an emotion, or other psychic impression that I receive energetically or from my guides. That impression itself is real. What you receive from your guides, what the world around you tells you through your psychic senses, is real. Never jump to conclusions, because sometimes you misinterpret what you're feeling or seeing or hearing psychically. That takes a lot of experience. That's what my classes are all about. But don't ever, ever doubt that what you received was real. Do not ever doubt your intuitive psychic impressions. They are real. And they are your navigation system to lead a healthier and happier life. I hope you've enjoyed this tip, and I hope it benefits you enormously. You can get all of my psychic development tips that are available on my website as a downloadable class, ongoing course that'll take about 6 months to go through, or you can hunt for many of them on YouTube, where you can listen to them for free. And you can find out all about me and my work on my website at www.sandyanastasi.com. Thank you so much for listening and for being here and for trusting yourself. Goodbye for now.